Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode. Today, we have the amazing Rick and Corrine with us. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, Deanna. And
Hello.
so, how is everyone feeling today?
Great. I'm feeling
Feeling
great.
good? So
Yeah.
far, so good? Wonderful. I love hearing that. Well, you guys were talking about starting us off with a meditation. So, let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll get right on into it, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it okay
Perfect.
if I
Thank you.
lead, Corinne?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll take about, I don't know, 3 minutes or so. And
Thank
so
you.
this meditation is to set the energy for our meeting here. And it really helps to kind of shift upward in the energies.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Rick,
you can share the music if you want as well.
Okay.
Sure.
And
I'd
then
have to be
it's
a,
yeah, you are I am
okay.
also a host, so you can share if you
Okay.
want to.
Let me set that up then. Takes me a little bit.
Anyone
then
who's
it's
watching during this time, just get yourself
No worries.
comfortable, take some nice
yeah,
breaths, and get ready to experience a wonderful meditation.
yeah,
We have music, Deanna. That's so cool.
And we have music. That's awesome.
yeah.
Can you hear that?
Nope.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yep.
Ah, okay. Okay, so we got our music. And so this we're setting the energy for the event here. So let yourself notice your energy, the way it's connected, what you're energetically a part of. And you can notice your energy on a physical level via the physical body. You can notice your emotional energy. Your emotions can be very fast. It can be agitated and upset, or your emotions can be very slow, very calm and peaceful and centered and flowing. And so it's your choice which one you choose. And you can notice your mental energy. If you have a lot on your mind, and let it be okay for you to let that go, to let thoughts go, to let concerns go. So, this is your time to go within, to remember your inner world, your inner sense of self, your inner reality, your inner peace. And realizing that you're more than you may realize, that there is a lot, there is a wealth of awareness inside of you. And that awareness extends on and on. And you always have that available. That inner knowing, that inner sense of self, that's always available to you. And with that, I'll ask if Corinne has any comments.
It is also very important that you watch your breathing. If you can slow down your breathing, and go to this place where you always feel fine. A place that exists or an imaginary place It's all good. And I'll go back to Rick so he can set the intention together with all of us for this podcast.
So take the time for yourself. Take the time to notice about more about your inner reality, your inner knowing, and realize that your outer reality can reflect your inner reality. That you can move forward in any area of your life. There are many ways to get that love, to get that peace, to get that financial abundance, to be aligned with your higher purpose, to have hope and uplifting for your family. That is very available. And as you move up in awareness, as you grow in your awareness of your inner self and the higher planes, that all of these things are more available. It's easier to find those as you shift upward in the planes. It's easier to have the reality you want just by shifting upward. And with that, we'd like to switch over to the podcast and bid you good day.
That
Thank
was
you so
amazing.
much.
Did you get the tingles, Deanna?
I just got the mellow relaxation.
I got some
Thank you.
tingles.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. What a great thing. And for this coming to me at what is the end of a very long work day,
Oh, good.
beautiful. Just what the doctor ordered.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So, hi, let's start here. Which one of you would like to introduce yourself first and tell us a little bit about you guys?
So I'm Rick Reiner, and I'm here in Portland, Oregon, and I'm a mechanical engineer and massage therapist and home repair guy, and my love is really meditation and channeling and exploring the higher planes. I've been doing it for a long time, so
How long?
for 35 years.
Nice. Very awesome.
I
Yeah.
like the combination of an engineer and someone who's into the metaphysical arts too, because you don't always see those two ways of thinking going hand in hand. Do you ever
Yeah.
find
So
that there's a do you ever find like a, I don't want to say a disconnect, but do you ever find that sometimes some of your beliefs are challenged on one side and some on the others? I don't know if I'm explaining it right.
well, it's more of like the way I look at it is more like an overlap
Mm-hmm.
because it's the scientific things, the quantum mechanics and quantum entanglement that I have answers for energetically in the higher planes, and that our culture, in my viewpoint, this is only my viewpoint, our culture is catching up slowly
Mm-hmm.
in what we experience through meditation. And so, I mean, we're going to go into, Orrin and Dobbin's material and the light body and stuff. And it's all about experience. It's not theory and thoughts and like a belief system based. It's all practical experience that really anyone can move into. So
Thank you. Yes, that makes great sense. That's wonderful. Thank you.
yeah.
And Corinne?
Um, I'm Corine Berben. I'm from the Netherlands, in Europe, the south of the Netherlands, and I've been a teacher in high school for the Dutch language and French, and teaching the children from 12 years old until 15, 16 years old. I this year I um, retired. Uh,
Congrats.
yeah,
Yes.
and yeah, like Rick, I always combined my teaching with the meditation. Um, Not, I didn't do it in the class with the students at the beginning, but I all in the morning I started with the meditation at home, and then I went to school in a different energy, more peaceful, and I used a lot of the energies in my classroom as well, and. Yeah, I'm a very practical person. So all the things I learned from Orin and Daben, uh, I immediately use them in my lessons. But they never knew. People never knew. I also used it in meetings with other teachers, and but now I'm very happy that I can use it. Well, it is not disguised, or it's not secret, because yeah, I like to teach together with Rick, but also alone in my own language. And yeah, I'm happy about it to concentrate more on, yeah, for me, it's the real teaching. I cannot say it otherwise. So yeah,
Coming from a former high school teacher myself, I happen to agree with you.
yeah.
And I actually did do that. I did take meditation into my classroom.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
I did so as well, but only the last 3 years,
Hmm.
because then the direction of the school, they saw that it was beneficial for the students, and they came to me in special weeks where they could choose their topics, and then I teach them meditation, and it
So
was really
amazing.
nice. Yeah, yeah, and nice that you did it as well. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't actually teach meditation. I would just do a guided meditation like you guys did at the very beginning of every
yeah,
class, at the
yeah.
beginning
Oh,
of every
nice,
class. And
nice.
so that way, showing them what meditation looks like, how it flips the script, because, as they're going through the halls and they come into your class, they
Yeah,
come with so much other stuff. And
yeah,
I'm like, okay, you can't focus with all that. Let's center and then
Mm.
yeah,
we can move forward. And yeah, and it took a while to catch on, but then all of a sudden they really started to enjoy it and we're like, there might be something to what this crazy lady be doing.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it's been so that was interesting. Yeah.
yeah. Nice. Yeah. So, what did you teach in high school?
Oh, I was so fortunate. I got to teach my passion. I taught cosmetology. So I was a
Okay.
hairstylist for many years and I did a
Yeah,
lot of really cool things in that world. And then towards the end of my career, I started teaching.
Oh, nice.
and I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. So yeah. So let's dive into this light body work. I am so excited because we've heard about this through Kim, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it is you guys' program that Kim took, and that's how you guys met. Am I correct on that?
It's not our program.
Oh,
It's
okay.
but
My
Rick can
apologies.
explain it better.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, yeah. So the light body first started in the mid 80s. It was first made available to the public in the mid 80s. And so people have learned it and then people have taught it. And so you get it's, the word spreading, the energy spreading out.
Yeah.
And you get teachers and you get groups. And then, somebody will have their own teacher. And then Corinne and I have a number of students. And then um, Kim learned, I think, from Wendy.
Okay.
And so, and Wendy, we're really close with Wendy, so we're well aware of Wendy. So,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So then let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit more about this light body. What is it? Because I'm sure a lot of people out there are wondering what is this that they're talking about?
of course, you have the way I like to explain it is more, that the way people can relate to it because you have your physical body. I can touch it, I can see it. Hey, this is real. Well, you also have an emotional body, and of course, we're aware of our emotions, and it's about like 3 or 4 inches out from our physical body. And then you have a mental body, which is extends um, kind of it's around your head, around your mind. And then you can kind of go out from there. You have a well, you can go out a good ways, and then your light body extends out, about 30 feet in each direction. And so it's a subtle energy body that you can, through meditation practice, you can become more aware of and in tune with. And when you go through the process of awakening your light body, you're awakening to more of who you are. You're awakening to yourself as you exist as light, because you do exist as light.
Which would you say also with existing as light, would you also say the light energy?
The light energy.
Yeah, just energy.
Um, so my view is that, well, there's a number of different types of light, and then I view energy more as an expression of light.
I like that.
Mm.
Yeah. So, and
Okay.
other people might see it differently, but it's kind of one way because you can kind of map things graphically in your mind. Well, that's kind of the way I map it.
Okay. That makes sense to me. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Deanna, do you have any questions?
Um, well, we talked a little bit before we started, and I'm interested in who or what are Oren and I'm probably gonna say it wrong. Daben?
Dobbin.
But
Daben.
pronounced Dobbin, yeah.
Sorry. But because it seems that you guys mentioned those names a little bit so far, but is that like the basis of the teachings that you offer? How does
Yeah.
that, like, where did that all come from?
Yeah, so Dwayne Packer channeled Dobbin. And so that he started about 1982, I think, or 81, started channeling Dobbin. And he went out into the Nevada desert. At one point, he was guided out there, and he, through meditation, he became aware of different energy centers within the body. And Dobbin was guiding him to realize the center, each center, the way it worked, the way the sound of each center. And then there's 7 vibrational energy body centers, and you go through each one, and then you kind of awaken your Renare cocoon. And then with that, then you can awaken the light body, and there's 3 light body centers. And so he was able to awaken his light body, and it just it's like the so this is a little bit philosophical. So there's waves of light that go through the earth plane, and with the more recent waves of light, it made it available for the light body to be awakened for humanity. And so it's now latent. The light body is latent in a lot of people. It's available and it's there, but a person really needs to awaken it.
And how would you recommend somebody do that? Is it through the meditations? Are there special teachings to follow?
Yeah, well, Corinne, why don't you jump in? I don't want to talk
Yeah,
about.
but yeah. I always find it difficult to explain it in language because, like Rick said at the very beginning, it's all about experience.
Hmm.
And um, it, through the teaching that is offered, you can go through the teaching yourself. You just buy a whole set of meditations, and then you go awakening your light body. And you can also go to a teacher like Rick and me, but there are plenty of teachers all over the world in all different languages also. So some people want to do it in French or even in Dutch and Danish. I believe that there are also people from um, yeah, Russia and Japan and China, but
Wow.
so the teachers are all over the world, and but I think it's nice when you go to a teacher to learn it, so you can share experiences and you can learn in a group, and that way it's nice to do it. And
Mhm.
you can, like me, I never did anything spiritual. I first came into a group like Rick almost 30 years ago for me in Holland, and I I felt like coming home. Finally, I was introduced to the energies, and I thought, oh, that was what I missed all my life. And I I really, I thought I really wanted children. I was in my 30 years old. I was struggling with that, and not knowing how to relate to not having yet a child or not being a mother. And I thought this is what I've been missing. And then I got introduced to the energies, and then I knew, oh no, it's this what I was missing. This is what I really want. And yeah, the nice thing after it, for me, the teaching was for 9 months. It was like becoming pregnant, and 9 months after the course, I was a mother of a child. So it's really nice. It wasn't um, it's it wasn't my purpose to do the course to become a mother, but I got both. So
Mm.
it's really nice.
It's
Yeah.
almost like you had to birth yourself in
Yeah.
order to go
That's
forward.
Right.
exactly.
That's
Yeah,
so
right.
Yeah.
beautiful.
Beautiful how you say it. Yeah, it's
I
Yeah.
was thinking
indeed.
the
Yeah,
exact same thing, like, you
yeah,
literally birthed your spiritual
yeah,
self. How
yeah,
amazing! But then
yeah,
you also had a kid.
yeah.
Wow, that's so
Afterwards,
cool.
nine
Yeah,
months
yeah, well,
after
yes,
the
of
end of the
course.
course. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was a beautiful
Wow.
time, and that's when I started also playing with the energies, and I immediately wanted to learn also to teach this material. So yeah, right afterwards,
Wow.
my husband and I, we did both the course and we also became teachers. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's
Oh, that's
amazing.
wonderful.
yeah,
That's probably very enriching for like your the way you are a mother and the way you are a wife and the way you're part of
yeah,
a couple to bring all of that
yeah,
self learning into that
yeah,
and then grow together. I imagine your child must have had a blast growing up with all that. It
yeah.
must have been fun.
And she's a teacher, a light body teacher as well. In the
Oh,
meantime,
Oh, wonderful.
beautiful.
yeah,
Yes,
Beautiful.
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rick, I want to
Yeah.
go back to something you said. You were talking about, and I'm definitely, I know I'm not going to pronounce this correctly. You said Raven Raken,
A cocoon?
something.
Renari
Oh,
cocoon.
Thank
Renari.
you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
Renari. Thank you. What is that? I've never actually heard of that before.
Yeah. So you, um, so let me take a step back. So there's different levels of reality, and then you have, of course, the emotional energy is at one level of reality, and then the mental is at a higher level, and then there's you can go up to the soul level where you exist at the soul level. We can touch with the light body, we can connect with who we are and who others are at the soul level. Yeah.
Okay. I'm loving this. Tell me more, please.
Yeah. So there's there's our outer reality, right, that you can see. And a lot of people think, I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but a lot of people think, okay, it's the outside world that's real. That, oh, I need to go make these changes to get the things I want. I need to affect the outside world. I need to do this. I need to achieve to get what I want.
Hmm.
That's one philosophy. And a different philosophy is that the outside world is more of a reflection of what's going on within. And so when I go within and I update my awareness, when I connect with myself at the soul level, when I connect with my Renare and light body and kind of gain awareness, gain consciousness, it really expresses on its own into the outside world. And so those, um, as a culture, I think we're shifting into slowly into, the inner world is what's more real than the outer. And so as you go through the light body, you're the light body, typically it takes like 6 to 9 months to go through the course. And so you're going through the vibrational energy body centers and you get to the Renare, and the Renare, um, it's energy that comes down and around you and then it comes up again. It's
I call that the toroidal flow.
okay. And so you
Yeah, when you can anchor down into the center of the earth, pull that energy up through the chakras, out through your eighth, and all the way up and connect with source. And then you can get that entire toroidal flow going.
okay.
That's what I call it. So actually, that's called
Mhm.
the Renari. Is that what I'm understanding?
Well, um it's important not to mix levels.
Oh. Okay.
And so the toroidal flow certainly sounds like a wonderful level of energy. The Renari cocoon might be a little bit different level of energy. One's not better than another.
Yeah.
That's another thing that we learned along the way.
mm,
Hmm.
Higher is not better.
mm,
Lower is not worse.
mm,
That it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense
mm,
intellectually, and yet there's truth there.
mm.
And so I mean, you go through the course, you learn the Renari cocoon, and you learn these universal truths, and it's like you always knew it.
Yeah,
It's just you just become aware of things, and you become aware of who you are on the inside level, and you become aware of how the universe works and what's your place in the universe. It just makes more sense.
yeah,
I'm loving this. Okay.
yeah,
It's like a butterfly coming out of a cocoon.
Okay.
That's what when you call it the Renare, and I think you said the word cocoon, and I'm imagining like coming up through the levels, becoming who you really are and remembering who you really are, and then coming out from a cocoon. That's that's really neat.
Two, going back to Corrine, birth your spiritual self.
Yeah.
yeah,
Another level of your spiritual self.
yeah.
Wow.
So is the process to go through and learn different levels until you get to whichever one you're
Works
getting
best for
to,
you.
I guess? I don't know.
There's no ending. It
Okay.
goes on. It goes on. There's no. You never can say, "Oh, now I know it," because then there is the next step and the next step and the next step. It's
Always, as soon as you think you know something, there's more,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
right,
Well,
yeah,
you
I feel
know,
that.
I was talking with some friends a week or so ago, and we were talking about like what's the definition of a master or who is a master. And the master is the person who knows they still have more to learn.
yeah,
And so
right,
I can see how that really coincides with what you're saying, how we're
yeah,
just always in a state of growth. It's just maybe if we choose to actually see it and work towards it
yeah,
versus staying kind of in the 3D real world, so to
yeah,
speak.
yeah, right.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
also what I like most of it is that it's uh, when I was teaching at high school, I got to give grades to the students. There's, like Rick says, there's no good and no bad. And I'm now also teaching meditation to a lot of teachers from high school that were my colleagues, and they do not. They really have to learn that it's their way of experiencing the meditation, that it's the right way, that you never can say, oh, when you see this or that, or when you experience this or that, that is not what we mean. No, it's their experience. It's um, yeah. And so there's never a bad way when you meditate. A lot of teachers also said to me, "Oh, I will not be able to join your classes today because, oh, I'm so messed up. I'm so stressed out. I cannot get myself quiet." And it's there is always a doorway to get quiet, uh, even when you're stressed. But they think they have to be relaxed before going into meditation. So it's
Or they
yeah,
think they're not going to be able to do it because their mind is so loud and busy.
yeah,
And I'm
and
like,
then
that's why you need it the
yeah,
most.
yeah, and also that they think that when they are stressed out, they will not be good at meditation, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I think
Right.
Deanna
Yeah,
and I have talked about that so much in the sense of no right or wrong way, like wash the
yeah,
dishes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wash the
Yeah.
dishes.
Well,
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
come into it with the sense that they're not going to be able to do it. I have people come to me a lot and they're like, I'm like, the first thing is like, well, do you meditate? You know, and they're like, ah, no, I can't do that. I try and I just go out.
Yeah.
I'm like, do it for a minute. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Start there. Do it
Yeah.
for a minute. Wash a dish. That's the one thing I tell people all the time is just wash
Yeah.
dishes mindfully. But
Yeah.
the concept that you can't quiet your mind is a physical concept. I don't think it's a spiritual concept because I think
Yeah.
spiritually we're vast, quiet, knowing all that stuff. And so that makes perfect sense. You know, people who say I can't do it are probably the ones that need it the most and
Yeah.
actually can do it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah. And
yeah,
Yeah. And
Rick has been talking about Daben, and
yes.
there's also Oren, and Oren is more, yeah, for me, Oren is also a guide like Daben, but Sanaya Roman started meditating and connecting with Oren, and
Mhm.
Oren is, yeah. Uh, Easier in some way, easier to connect or to, yeah, to practice the courses. And for example, Rick and I are now teaching for almost, yeah, we started in January with Living with Joy. uh, it's a beautiful basic course to bring more joy in your life, and to not have excuses to say, oh, today I'm not choosing joy, because you can choose every day, you can choose for joy, even when you're in a crisis. But yeah, we now read the book together with students in, and every other week we do some guided meditations as well, and we talk about the book. And in, yeah, now we are in June, so we have been doing this for 6 months now, and l- people's lives are changing, and our lives as well. We are more conscious about being able to choose for whatever feeling you are feeling, that yeah, that you can replace it for joy. Yeah.
That is so important. I mean, things
Yeah.
are chaotic on the larger sense of the world right now, and then that trickles down into everybody. I mean, we all get
Yeah.
chaotic days and stuff, and to be able to pull out, I'm guessing it's you can pull even if you just pull out a strand of it, at least you have it,
Yeah.
right? And yeah. Yeah, like
Yeah.
what I do a lot of sewing and cross stitching, and I keep a little jar next to me, and I put in all the little snips of thread that are like too short to sew with that I cut off, and I just, I don't know, I keep it. I don't know why, but I have a nice jar of little snips of thread, and it's almost like maybe correlate that to what you're saying, that one little piece of joy might not seem like much, but my gosh, when you put them all together, maybe
Yeah.
one day only has one thread, but the whole week is going to have at least seven, if not
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
what Corinne and I do are guided meditations. And so we're talking people through things
Yeah.
and we're helping them to see energy. And if so a lot of people will approach meditation and think, oh, I have to listen to nothing and then, grow still. That's not I don't think I could do that, listen to nothing and grow
Yeah.
still. That doesn't make any sense. So it's more having somebody that can guide you, who can, on an energy level and a verbal level, that can help you see things. And then, Deanna, as you go back to the times that you've been sewing,
Hmm.
and you can just look at, how that contributes to you, that there's something going on um, mentally when you're sewing, because there's a gift in that, because the sewing process, it gives your mind something to do so your mind can calm down.
Absolutely. I mean, it's my go-to when I get stressed. I'm like, I just want to cross stitch for half an hour. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it really is. It's a really good
Yeah.
and I think that's something people don't always understand about meditation. Just like you said, you don't just sit there and go nowhere because you're either going to fall asleep or you're not going to be able to stick to it. But if you are putting yourself in a different mind, however works for you, right?
Yeah.
Like listening, like what you did in the beginning was
Yeah.
fantastic. And the guided meditations, I'm sure, help people kind of wrap their mind around the fact that you don't have to try to be still. Because the more you try that and the more you try to shut your mind off, the
Yeah.
harder it gets. At least in
Yeah.
my experiences, I have to
Yeah.
do something and you know what? Maybe that's why people like to read books, people do movies, anything to try to get out of a mindset and find some kind of inner peace. But I think what you're describing is a lot more, obviously more spiritual than watching Netflix, but really bringing people into a place of themselves. Would that be a way possibly to describe it? Like come to yourself and start to see
Yeah.
who and what you really are?
Yeah.
You got that one, Corinne?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'll respond to that. So so you can kind of manage your intellect, your mind. You can one way is through sewing. You know,
Hmm.
you're giving your mind something to do so that you enter into that you do enter into a meditative state when you're doing that. And so we're, after having worked on this for a number of years, we're able to have that physical ease, emotional flow, and mental fluidity. And then with that, you can rise to higher awareness. You can rise to the soul level. You can rise to the light body level. And there's higher levels. There's different types of light. There's there's so much to explore and become aware of, and we really can make heaven on earth.
I love that. I love that.
I Why would somebody want to do that? Like, just out
Joy,
of curiosity, what would make somebody who maybe isn't quite, maybe somebody who's just starting, let me say this differently, somebody who's just starting to get into spirituality and stuff, and then they stumble upon, let's say, this podcast, and they're like, huh, that sounds great, and then maybe they're a little hesitant. What would you say would be the greatest or like the biggest takeaway from that?
so what people need nowadays is hope,
Mm.
and they need a way to make changes in their life. They want to, get that new car, or get the house, or get some financial thing. And what we're offering is a different way to get to make shifts that you want in life, because the new car or the new house actually represents an internal change that you can make. So this may sound really odd, but the biggest challenges you have in life are going to be your what gives you the biggest gifts. Yeah.
That actually makes sense. That makes a
Yeah,
lot of
I know that.
sense.
Yeah.
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 And to allow it, to allow the gifts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
all that frustration that people have, oh, I can't get this. The way to make changes is slow down. you know,
Mhm.
Check out what's going on within. Channel, connect, realize more of who you are, and then you allow things to come into your life. You don't need to go out and try to take this. You bring it about. It's a really different philosophy.
I
Well,
think some
sorry, go
Go
on.
ahead. Go
Well, I
ahead.
was gonna say it's like the affirmation, I don't chase, I attract, kind of,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
you accept it before it's there, or kind of. I mean, I don't know if I'm actually getting the words out right. I'm loving what you're saying. I'm totally involved in what you're saying, and I'm not thinking it. What were you going to say, Ronnie?
I was going to say the thing that comes to mind is sometimes I find that people are looking more for a savior, and they get into this work thinking, oh, and I'm going to use this for an example, getting into my light body is going to save me, or it's going to be all that I'm looking for. And they forget that, yes, it will do some of that in a sense. However, you still have to be active, and that's where in the co-creation comes in, is you can allow that to guide you into your next steps.
Yeah, the universe
Would
is
you
always there to guide us.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think so well, because what I'm saying is, like, I was just having a conversation with somebody today, literally today, in reference to I feel like they think in their head that their spirit is going to come and manifest itself and give them everything that they need, and they don't have to do anything except for sit there and meditate.
Yeah.
So,
Aha! You see where I'm going with this now?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And I'm like, not exactly. You were framed incorrectly. My lights are dimming. It is about to storm here. That's why I look all kind of like this. I look a little red actually. It's just because my lighting is going. So anyway, here we are. Um, but and I'm like, "W- what if we shifted that and allowed the meditation to guide you? Why are you looking for something to save you instead of allowing it to guide you? So maybe you could look at the guidance as a savior is how I reframed it. But I don't know. Do you have anything, whatever you want to say to that?
So I think in our culture, there's a lot of thoughts around this outside thing is gonna save me or give me this
Mm,
thing or uh, so that's really just one philosophy and and there's a tendency in that to not realize how amazing we already are, that there's a lot going on within us. We have gifts within us. We have awareness and we have our innermost self, we have our soul self, there's so much that we have that it's really silly to ignore the way we can grow, the way we can develop ourselves, the way we can understand who we are. We can understand the world in new ways, and that there's a lot of joy in realizing that you can make changes in your life. That thing that you want, it's you have a lot more, I don't know, like responsibility or growth when you look within to make changes to bring about what you want. And I think Source wants us to do that.
I agree. I agree. I'm
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. I mean, because I can okay, Corinne, Corinne, you know this. We can give you fish all day long, but I'm really here to teach you to fish, and that way you can be self-sufficient.
Yeah.
You don't have to rely on me and handouts and stuff. I think that's more of what I was getting at, Rick, with what I was saying earlier, is like kind of that savior mentality and handouts.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
They
that's
just kind of think it's going to come because they had like 3 meditations where they were super connected and they're like, it was great and all this. So where's my money? Where's my house? Where's my car?
I think that's kind of an offshoot of the way that, I mean, society, the spiritual aspects of society are changing, I think. And I think we're
Mhm.
seeing more people moving towards a spirituality based belief system rather than one with rules. I am not slamming any religion. Religion's great. If it works for you, that's totally cool. But I think that most of the more common religions that I mean, we look at like Christianity, Judaism. I don't know a lot about the some of the other ones, but it's somebody telling you what to do or somebody doing something for you, somebody saving you. And I think as the world is
Mm.
moving a little bit more towards a spirituality base, not saying that the people are going away from religion, but maybe they're opening up to wider definitions of what those teachings actually mean. And so a lot of people are in that somebody's going to come and save me. I will be doing tarot card readings for people, and if I get three pentacle cards in a row, people think they're about to get rich, and I'm like, dude, if you could get rich
It's
from
not a slot
tarot
machine.
cards, I would be rich from tarot cards. So, and it's like it's not that the universe isn't going to say, here's your bucket of money for your slot machines, or you wanted a house, so you're going to walk outside, or the classic one where people are like, oh, I want to be in a relationship and I want to be in love, but you don't do anything. You sit in your house and wait for somebody to show up at the door. And now I think that we are starting to move into this spiritual based way of looking at the world, and it's just like you're describing, Rick. It's like, yes, there's things that the universe will help you. Of course, the universe wants what's best for you, but you're also the universe. So you
Mm.
can't expect things to just fall without you putting in the time, the effort, the thinking,
Yeah.
the meditation and the mindset to bring what you're looking for into this reality, which is based on perception anyways.
So there's a lot of
Yeah,
people that aren't ready for that.
right.
And we just have to be okay with that,
Yeah,
that some people want to take responsibility for their life and some people don't. And
Yeah.
um, that's one of the more challenging things in spiritual growth is to let it be okay where people are at.
Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
Right, and
Yeah.
that's hard for teachers, I imagine, because when you're having insights and you're having like, oh my gosh moments, but it's not everybody's going to listen to them. Not everybody's going to take them as belief or as something to even consider. And I think as light workers, as healers, as teachers, as everything that all of us are, that is a lesson to be learned in and of itself, is that people
Yeah.
aren't all gonna do what you hear is really good. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it
Yeah.
sounds like through the classes that you guys are teaching and through the studies that you've done, it's almost like people are learning how to access that part of themselves. People are learning how to bring that part of themselves into their reality where they can remember it and really live in that state.
Yeah.
Am I understanding? Is that's where we're going with
Yeah.
that's
And
so
yeah.
fascinating.
And by remembering, it's especially because they experience the energy, they will remember it. So they do not
Right.
need to remember it by mind.
Right. It's a spirit memory, isn't it? Or a soul
Yeah.
memory, or I
Yeah.
mean, not I wouldn't even say a physical body memory or a muscle memory, more it's deeper than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It's
So,
Yeah. When
it's
you
yeah.
when you
s-
experience something, energetically, it stays with you and
Yeah.
yeah,
and it really it can open doors for you in reality. So
it really
yeah.
does. I mean, a lot of us have had those types of experiences on some level or another, and I know that for me, the most life-changing one was about a year ago, and from that has grown so many other things and so many other thoughts and so many other things for me to ponder, for me to think about, for me to question myself about, right? um
Mm.
and that's when you guys do that with your teaching, I'm assuming people are coming out of this with like light bulb moments and just a lot of connection with who they really are. And
So
is yes, I'm sorry.
it's kind of interesting that as as people go through the meditation, right? There are challenges involved. It's not that the light body takes away your challenges. It's more that the light body accelerates your challenges because you're on an accelerated path. And so your challenges are going to come faster, but you'll have more tools to handle these things. We have a lot, Oren has a ton of tools to allow you to integrate, to understand, how do I process anger? How do I process fear? How do I rise above it? And things such as the divine self. And so that so you're kind of moving along through the course, and you can enter into states that are very confusing. And we like to say confusion is a high state because you're kind of letting go of old concepts of the way reality works, and you're opening to higher concepts.
Of what
Yeah,
really
that
is.
yeah.
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 It's almost like it's the jump off spot to the next whatever. Is if you're getting confused, you got to clear out those messages.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta
Wow.
look. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
this is taught in I'm guessing multiple classes. Is it like you had Corin, you had said to get the books there, I mean the not to get the books, that people can get the books.
Yeah.
Um and you kind of go through a process to get
Yeah.
to
It's an
something.
example. Yeah, it's an example because now we teach that oh yeah, we got we sorry.
It's
we
okay.
guide we guide the book club with living with joy, but we also teach like solar radiance. It's also from Oren, where you go to practical exercises to work with sunlight and the soul of the sun, and it's yeah, it's beautiful. So
I need that one.
it's yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah,
The
yeah.
person who is entirely solar powered needs that. I tell everybody, Deanna knows because when I lived in New York, I lived upstate New York for a couple of years, and oh my gosh, Ronnie does not do cold.
We don't have
It's
sun
not
up
my
here
thing.
either very often.
Oh, okay.
And
It's cold
and
here.
it's cold
Well, not
and
today, but
it's gray in the winter. And so the winters up there are like 6 to 9 months long, and it's a lot of gray, and it's so cold. And I that was not a good experience.
Yeah.
I liked being there. I liked all the things other than the winter. And
Okay.
it just drove me out because, again, solar powered, and I wasn't getting that. And now that I'm back in areas where I can get that sun, the things, and I talk to the sun a lot. The sun and I
Yeah.
are very connected, and we like to kind of play with each other.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So I would
Yeah.
love to expand that. Is all this to say, yes, I'm all in
Yeah.
because I totally want to expand on this.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's
we'll
Yeah.
talk
yeah.
later about that.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm. We're gonna talk later about that
So
because go ahead,
I
sorry.
wanted to ask, you said that is the name correct, Sanaya? San
Sanaya.
Sanaya,
Yeah.
and and that was somebody who was channeling in some of these energies. Is that right? Is
Yeah.
she I'm assuming started it with I didn't write down the name of the gentleman you had mentioned. Doug? I don't know. I don't have
Dwayne
the name.
Packer.
Dwayne. So
Dwayne. Yeah.
the two of them, this knowledge kind of came to them through their own meditations, and then they began to teach it to others. Is that
Yeah.
how it went?
Well, not exactly. They channeled the information. So the light body is, all the centers and the whole light body is channeled material.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so, and then Sanea channeled Orin, and Orin and Sanea's focus really is about love and on, um, like evolving your personality, connecting with the spiritual sun.
Yeah.
And
Here's another book. personal power through awareness.
Oh, okay.
And here
All
you can
right.
That's
see
Yeah,
amazing.
Shania
I like the
Roman. Yeah.
picture.
Personal
Yeah.
power through awareness. I will put a link to that.
So they're kind of getting you to a place in different approaches. Is
Yeah.
that a way you would say it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. And you guys teach these classes, if I'm understanding correctly, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. My mind is like that. First of all, that meditation really did some nice things for me. So my mind is like in a happy place on a beach somewhere too. Uh, um, but so if people wanted to take classes from you, where would they find you?
On
We
our
So
have your
websites.
websites and
Yeah.
we'll put them up, and that's the best way to reach out to you for some of these classes and to learn more about all of the teachings.
I
yeah,
think
I'm
so.
of course
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
Rick at clearlightwork.com.
Mm-hmm.
Clearlightwork.com.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or we can
Correct.
put it in the chat or
I'll put a link
Yeah.
in the
okay.
descriptions. Yeah, no problem. And
Yeah.
then what is yours, Corrine?
Uh Corinne Bourbon. Yeah.
.com?
.ml.
uh yeah, it's my email address.
However you want
I would
people to reach out to you.
Yeah, it's through my website or my email address, and I'll put it
And
in the
so
chat.
what
It's easier.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay,
So
so it's
yeah,
CorineBourbon.com. Thank you.
yeah.
Alrighty, I
All right.
understand.
All right. That sounds so exciting. I know every time someone comes on and they talk about classes, I'm like, oh, I want to sign up, but this one is really pulling on me. So y'all
Yeah,
might see my name somewhere at some point
Yeah.
because
I
this
was
really feels necessary.
Yeah.
yeah, I was with Kim, like not with her physically, but like we were friends and we
Mhm.
would talk a lot as she was going through this course and I was like, get it finished because I want to hear everything. But it just even her the way that she progressed and just everything she would tell me about it, I already knew I was all in.
Mm.
You know,
Nice.
I was
Yeah.
like, okay, let's do this. So
For people who
you
are watching, that's Kim Mo, who is one of our earlier guests on our podcast. So scroll back a little bit in our episodes and you'll see where we have her too, just in case anyone's wondering who this Kim is that we keep talking about.
and I think
Yeah.
doesn't she talk about it a little bit on the podcast? I don't recall. Does she? I think she mentions it a little
I
bit.
think so. I know I don't want to say either way, but I think so.
I
I'm
think
guilty
so.
of not going back and re-listening to them, so I just listened to them once.
Well,
Um, so
there are
I
also
think
hours we're
that
too busy listening to other stuff.
yeah,
Um, so and how and so you said that this is about a 6 to 9 month. How long is the course? So tell us a little bit about the course. And so now that we know all about it, tell us like it's 6 to 9 months. Is that what I understand?
So
Yeah,
we
that's the main course, the Awakening the Light Body.
Awakening
But
the light body.
we also teach shorter courses,
Okay.
courses that like Solar Radiance. It's four mornings for Rick and 4 evenings for me. But yeah, 4 times we meet, and then we do a few guided meditations. And when, for example, when we do a book, it can be half a year, or we will go until September, so it will be 9 months with
good
living with
timing, good
joy.
timing.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
living with joy, and then evolving your personality is also from Oren. It's when you are already on a spiritual path and a lot of things are happening, but you somehow you can feel that your personality isn't there, isn't connected with your soul self or your innermost self, that there is a lot of conflict. um, then it's for example, it can be very useful to do the evolving your personality. And it's also 4 times a meeting of 4 meetings, and then a few meditations together and sharing and that kind of things. Yeah,
And that one you said is just about you said it's only about 4 meetings, so that one sounds a little shorter. It's kinda
yeah,
short and sweet is what I'm
yeah,
hearing.
yeah,
Aw,
yeah,
that's amazing because I know a lot of people who could use that.
yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah. And there's yeah, there's still commitment necessary, of course, but the commitment is far less than when you go through the light body, when you want to start from the beginning and you want to finish it at volume 6, then you will be quite busy, and there's also, yeah, commitment necessary. If you aren't committed, it will be very difficult.
Mhm.
So, yeah,
I
Absolutely. If you're
understand.
going to
Yeah,
do
of
something,
course.
do it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And
Wow.
the light body isn't for everybody.
no, yeah,
It's only for people who are ready for that spiritual growth. And so yeah, you have to have some commitment. You have to, it requires you to face yourself, to face or to like to understand yourself better and go through, challenges that are going to be there anyway, but it just comes faster.
yeah,
How would one person, how would they know if they were ready for that?
Well, if they so a person can just jump into it without any energy
mm,
understanding, but it does help to have some energy understanding, the chakras. There's plenty of other methods. Just some sort of understanding is good. And then if a person has more desire to be responsible for themselves, that's very good to have that.
yeah,
Okay. So you kind of have an internal sense and some knowledge. And obviously, if you're going to commit to that,
yeah,
you got to be ready or you're not gonna, like what you said, Corinne, you're just not gonna do as well. It's going to be harder.
yeah.
So, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I am so grateful that you have come on today to tell us all of this wonderful knowledge and to share your knowledge with us. This has been very enlightening
I know my
and
happy groove, Deanna.
yes, I can see. Um I think that my cat is talking very loud. I hope you guys can't hear, but I'm sorry if you do.
Yep,
Um
you have a good
um
headset.
I think that yeah, I think that we're at a good place right now to kind of
Ooh, are you guys gonna do the ending meditation?
I would
would
like
you?
to do an ending meditation if that's
Okay.
all right for you, Rick.
We
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
would
the
Yeah, go
love
ahead.
that. So
I
before
will.
can we
Yeah,
just before we start, I think after the meditation, we're just gonna close. So I just want to say my usual ending shtick here. Thank you to everybody who watched. Please look Rick and Corinne up. And if you out there in YouTube land or wherever you're seeing us have something that you would like to share, something that you do, something that you teach, something that you've learned, reach out to us and see if you want to be a guest on the show. It's that easy to do. We respond when you ask us questions. So I'm going to ask everybody to be blessed and be blissed. And if you will lead us out on a meditation, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
thank you.
and thank you for the opportunity.
Mm, I'm so grateful you guys are here. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, first of all, thank you for having the opportunity to connect with you both and with all the people who are listening or watching. And let's start again by closing our eyes. Sit comfortably and just notice your breathing. And however you breathe, it's all fine. Just know that. And now let go of everything that we have been talking about. And connect with your own energy. Just invite your innermost self with you. And your innermost self is the wiser part of you. And feel how the energy is changing. How the room where you are in at this moment feels different. How your thoughts are changing, your emotions are changing, and it's all becoming more flowing, calmer. And the beautiful thing is that the four of us in this podcast form a group. We connect with each other. We can feel our connection as a group energy. And together we can also connect with everybody who is listening or watching. And it feels like ripples, ripples of light from the four of us all the way to all the other people, all the connections we have. And at the beginning of this podcast, Rick introduced you to your physical body, to be aware of your physical body. And now you can do that again. Be aware of your physical body. Perhaps you can feel your skin. You can feel your legs, your arms, your head, your throat. And you can also feel your emotions. And just notice if your emotions are calmer, more peaceful. And then notice your mental body, your thoughts. And now, if you are in this peaceful state, you can invite people that you love. You can invite the animal kingdom. So perhaps your beautiful orange cat is benefiting this meditation as well. And we can connect with nature. And very easily and effortlessly, you come now back with your attention into the room where you are at this moment. You can feel your feet on the ground, the chair where you are sitting on. Maybe you want to stretch yourself and open your eyes when you are ready for it.
Beautiful.
I can't think of anything else to say. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.